thanks to the society, to the embassy, to the Minister of Culture. Thank you. It's a dream that you're here for us. To the restoration team, we have 4 representatives, including Professor Moropoulou. If I may ask for all of the team leaders to stand up, because it's not just Professor Moropoulou. She is a partner of a whole team, and we're so honored to have them here. Could we have your team stand up? Good. In my 15 years of covering archaeology around the world and cultural heritage, I have never experienced a project that was so deeply personal and so deeply involved in what the world means today than this project. Every single member, the 50 members of the team who are here, they all committed themselves. They worked day and night, 24/7. They completed a project under budget, in time, to open between 2 Easters. It is, as we say, the impossible project. It was done by a team from the National Technical University of Athens. We like those kind of projects at National Geographic. We love to cover the impossible projects. This was an impossible project made possible. I'm going to tell you very briefly a little bit about how we felt covering this. We had a team from National Geographic. I'd like to say our incredible writer, Kristen Romy, who has been with us throughout the duration of the project and continues to follow one of the most amazing stories of humankind for the 21st century, the restoration of this monument. By the way, I should mention that we at National Geographic are not used to church time. Church time. The monument was restored in 1810. It took until 1959 for the 3 faiths to agree for its restoration. And from 1959 until 2016, they finally decided this is the moment. And we loved and we enjoyed being your partner. And thank you for letting us be embedded in your team as this project unraveled within a year, under budget, and with an incredibly committed team. In 2016 was my first trip to Jerusalem. It was an amazing experience to go to a place that was both so personally important and yet so unique. It's the epicenter of Western civilization in many ways. So many things that concern Western civilization actually concern the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the Crusades, the schism of the church, the coalescence of everything, and the communities that take care of this church. This is church at Easter, in the evening, at night, with the various communities celebrating the rejuvenation of their Christian faith. We had the most extraordinary experience of working with partners, the Patriarch of Jerusalem, Professor Antonio Moropoulou, who said, "We want to work with you so that you can bring this project to the world." And we did. National Geographic has a television channel in every single country of the world. Our magazine is published in every major language of the world. The digital version of the message of National Geographic is worldwide and global, and is perhaps our largest media outlet. And we came to this incredible laboratory. This is looking down on Antonio Moropoulou's laboratory. It is the Edicule. It's surrounded by a work area with big work lights where people would work 24/7. At the bottom of the picture, you can actually see the route that was left open during the entire conservation project for the pilgrims to follow through and enter. That's quite remarkable for anyone who's done any masonry to experience not the demolition of a structure, but the preservation of it during its conservation. It was done, as Professor Moropoulou said, through remote sensing, non-invasive methods, 21st 21st century methodologies that we are just being acquainted with in archaeology and architectural conservation. Ground penetrating radar, without removing the marble, can beam through the center and tell us where the original cave for the tomb of Christ was located. It created this document, unbelievable, first time ever to see inside the walls and to see that rather than having been multiple layers of complete destruction and rebuilding, they rebuilt around the former structures to the point that it became clear that the original structure of the Holy Edicule was preserved on the inside of the building. Believe me, no historian or archaeologist had known that before. This was revealed with the remote sensing architectural conservation. It did create some issues that we had to agree with on a very high level of church cooperation. There had to be a decision made to open the tomb of Christ during the renovation project. A very brave decision, probably something that hadn't been done previously in history, and perhaps never since the original foundation of the church. And that was to open the tomb, not for archaeology, and not to make these great discoveries, but to make sure that the very burial bed, which is at the core of the structure, is preserved. A moisture barrier was applied on the inside. That particular structure, that tomb was opened only for 60 hours. National Geographic was honored to be there to film and record that. It was unbelievably interesting for the world population. More than 2.5 million people listened and read Kristen Romey's article about this. It was humbling and honoring to be amongst the people who were there to witness that moment. And thank you, Professor Morapoulou, for having us be embedded in your team doing this. And it was a great transformation. It was amazing to see these leaders of the church who had made the brave movement to say, yes, we'll do something that we hadn't originally agreed on. And this is their expressions of sort of like eagerness and joy at seeing the original bed of the tomb of Christ. It was an amazing moment. It was going from controversy to enthusiasm. It's something that I think is a metaphor for optimism throughout the world, throughout the Middle East. It's a story that we want to tell at National Geographic. And there it is, the original bedrock. It's the rock of Jerusalem, the bedrock of Jerusalem. I remember personally asking one of the caretakers of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, a monk who basically lives inside the church. He's a caretaker. And I asked him, what was your feeling? What did you see when that marble slab was removed? And it was kind of interesting. He just looked at me, he said, I saw the rock. And that was satisfaction for everybody. That changed the whole feeling in this church before the restoration and after. We're so excited about that. As Professor Morapoulou said, we learned a lot about the structure, the construction of the structure from the architectural renovations. I hope that the digital platform becomes a reality. We will work with you. National Geographic is here to tell the story of this, to rejuvenate a story that in many ways came to conclusion in Easter of 2017. And we're here to rededicate this incredible process and this incredible discovery and preservation so that generations from now, people can think about this and enjoy this monument. I think you provided a lifetime guarantee for the monument. So with that, I would thank you. Please come to visit the exhibition, which will be open through August of 2018. And with that, thank you very much. I would I'd like to bring up our next